Oh, boom. Right
Hi.
on.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh, this is perfect. All three of you guys in one frame. I love it.
We are. We're together.
Like a real true band should be all in one frame via Zoom. I love that. Well, we got
Yeah.
Skayda live on the show. Good to see you guys. I know Haddon's no stranger to the show, but it's good to have the full band here. Welcome to the show, you guys. And I have to say, it's pretty rad. I feel like so many people I interview on this show, it's always bands where the singer's going solo and trying to find like their own solo stuff. But Haddon, you've kind of done things backwards. You've like joined and started your own band. You guys have a band now. Why the backwards move? Explain.
Oh yeah. No, I'm actually dropping them as soon as I become really famous.
I
So
had a feeling.
I'm kidding.
What's up?
I don't know. I mean, back home, in Florida where I'm originally from, it was kind of like the obvious choice. Like there's a lot of beach bars and restaurants to play down there, cover gigs. And that was where I got started. And I had a band down there for a couple months. But now in Nashville, I found Mayan and Flynn. Luckily, they're both incredibly talented, and I'm happy that they are in a band with me.
Yeah. How'd that come to be? How'd you guys all meet? Did you guys all meet like through auditions or just friends? How did this band come to be?
Should I tell the funny story?
Well, actually, wait.
Well,
Me and tell her. You get to tell the funny story. Mine gets to tell the boring one.
yeah, the boring one. We met at orientation. I think
Me and her.
me and we had met. I think I like slid up on her Instagram story one day and just like complimented her new song and just be supportive. And then I met her at orientation and she was,
Weird.
I thought she was weird. And then she just kind of started talking to me. I just thought she was one of those people I'd be like, hey, and then just part ways. But then she was like, hey, I need a bassist, want to be in my band. And I was kind of hesitant at first just because I was like, I'm on the track team here at Belmont and I just didn't really know if I could juggle it all. But then like, I think it was really smart of me that I actually did join because now the train's taken off.
I
And
love that.
then how we found Flynn. Go ahead.
So basically, there was an Instagram account that complained about our college and hadn't kind of posted a "I need a drummer" ad, and I just slid up and I was like, "Yeah,
She's
hi."
like, hey, I'm a drummer. So yeah, exposing Belmont brought us all together.
Yeah.
I
Instagram,
love that.
powerful.
Right on. And so you guys all go to Belmont currently right now.
Yes.
Yeah, yep. We all like
Right
it.
on.
Yeah, I like it.
It's chilling.
It's good.
Yeah,
Good.
it's grown so much. I feel like I drove by there like last week, and a lot of the 12 South area, it's like Belmont's just kind of growing and taking over. It's gotten so big. I feel like, 10, 11 years ago, it wasn't that big, but it's a big college now. Do you guys find that there's a lot of competition when it comes to other musicians and other bands there? Is there still a Belmont band scene? I feel like there used to be quite a big one.
It kind of seems like a lot of someone. It seems like a lot of the Belmont bands that I personally know, a lot of the members have like graduated and like, one or two of them still go here, but are like, seniors. So, we're not really part of that scene because, we're freshmen. But I think that, I don't know, what do you guys think? There's definitely a music scene here, but
There's just a lot of singer girls with their acoustics trying to be Taylor Swift around here. So
exposed.
Yeah.
Way to describe
As
it.
for
Well
like
done, Flynn. Perfect.
competition, as for like competition goes, because I know you mentioned like within musicians, because I'm a commercial bass major, but like I kind of expected it to be ultra mega like competitive. But like I found that just like everyone in my classes are just it's more just a huge supportive community more than like a competitive community. So like like everyone is just so extremely talented
and different.
and
A lot of
different
people are different.
and just willing to
Very.
support every musician here. So it's, I don't, the first thing that comes to mind is definitely not competitive, I would say.
Yeah.
yeah, not at all.
It's very welcoming.
Mhm.
Everybody's like going to everybody else's shows. Like, we've
Oh, wow.
been to we've got like a whole lineup of shows we got to go to for like our friends and, friends of our friends and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I like to see that versus the competitive thing. I feel like it used to be way more competitive. So that's awesome. I
Mhm.
love that. Were you guys pumped for your show? Your very first show is coming up the 29th. It'll be a week from today, which is going to be when this airs a week from today at Dark Matter. And this is your guys' first show. How are you guys feeling about it? Stoked? Nervous?
So
I'm so
So
excited.
yeah,
We are
so excited.
so excited.
yeah,
not pretty nervous, honestly.
I'm not nervous. I will be. I will be
Oh,
day
yeah.
of show.
Day of.
right
Day
when
of
I get
show.
on stage, it's like, oh, but I'm so excited.
No, we're excited, and the other bands that are in the show with us, Absolute Silence, Nick Carlson, he's a solo guy, and then Cadence. They're all really talented from what I've heard. Never seen anyone but Cadence live, but we're excited. The whole show is going to be a lot of fun.
That's awesome. And Dark Matter's cool too. It's such a cool place to have your first show. I feel like that's one of those clubs. It's almost like a Nashville rite of passage. There's certain venues, I'm sure, as you guys know, like the End and Dark Matter and like the East Room. Those are places that you kind of have to get in there, the real rock and roll venues. So I love that. How'd you guys land Dark Matter so early on in your career? I love that.
Yeah. So I've Cadence, one of the bands, also the name of the singer of Cadence.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so I met him on Instagram, I guess. And then we met in person at Belmont once I moved here. He's a junior. And he reached out over Thanksgiving break to me and he just straight up asked. He'd never heard us. He'd heard my music, but like he just asked if we wanted to, play this show at Dark Matter with him. And I was like, yes, absolutely, we do. Because it was kind of like one of those things where we needed like that shove to kind of get into things and get together and practice a lot more and kind of shape our show up. But yeah, that's how we got it. So thanks, Cadence, if you're listening.
shout out to Cadence. Well, since you guys are a young band, there's something I wanted to ask you about. So you're a young band. You guys are a real band who write your own songs. It's not a co-write thing. A lot of the Nashville stuff you see, which is pretty lame. You guys are doing the opposite. You're a real band. And I love that about this show. It's just, we always focus on actual artists and actual bands. There was a study that came out recently that was saying that music in the music industry, that working class musicians and real bands are down by 70%. That the majority of the people in the industry these days are co-writers, and a lot of just kids with money who just kind of come in, I guess, to the pop world, I would assume. But what is your thoughts on that? We're at a time, like, I feel like the glory days of the 70s, 80s, 90s, and 2000s are long gone. A lot of people are kind of realizing that and jumping ship. How do you guys feel about being a young band in 2023?
I mean, okay, so first of all, it's kind of cool, our like dynamic, because we all kind of, have different eras of, rock that we kind of like. Personally, my favorite is the 70s.
I'm like 80s, 90s.
90s, 2000s.
Down the line.
Yeah.
But I think that writing music is, I was talking about this in my copyright law class at 8 a.m. this morning, which was rough. But it was just kind of, the professor asked a question: would you rather be a songwriter or be a performer not writing songs? And I was like, I love performing, but if I couldn't, I wouldn't really want to sing somebody else's songs because it's not like my expression. Do you guys feel the same way?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, you can only really do covers and enjoy it for so long. Like, so I just feel like at some point you just need to put your own content out there and just have, put it out there.
I think it's important to like remember that as a band. Like, I know of a couple bands who are, starting to play longer shows, typically more for the money, because you got to make money to be a musician. And that's totally all good. But, you kind of, like, some of my friends, I'll have them like, is this really what you want to do? Or do you want to do the original side of things? And I think it's important to kind of sometimes circle back and, think about, is this really what I want to do? Do I want to do covers, or do I want to express my feelings and my ideas?
Absolutely. And I feel like it's such a slippery slope in this town because a lot of people don't really talk about, we're all aware of it, but nobody really talks about the trap that a lot of bands fall into when it comes to Broadway and a lot of the Midtown stuff, where they kind of go out and they play like, 7 hours a day or whatever, and they're doing mostly covers. They throw in a couple originals, but they don't realize that it's not going to happen that way. Like, nobody's going to discover them down there. And if anything, it kind of blacklists you. There's a lot of different situations where you kind of get known as like, oh, you're just the cover band, or you play at Martin's Barbecue for 4 hours. And again, totally fine if you want to make money, but the idea of growing something from that, you're absolutely right, is just not going to happen. And I think too, when it comes to, when I saw that article about the music industry and working class musicians, it really bummed me out because we do need, we need the next Kurt Cobain. We need the next Axl Rose, whoever, usually a very poor person who has a lot of problems and usually an addiction to make the next great wave of rock and roll. You know what I mean? And we're not going to have that if it's all these rich songwriter kids. It's not going to happen. But I sound like an old man when I say it, but you guys can be angry because you're young and new. So I say be as angry as you want to be. That's what I say.
I agree. With
Good,
that.
good. We are angry. We're really mad. We're really mad all the time.
Oh, I can sense the tension. So much anger. So much anger. Well, guys, since you guys are here, we got to play. I know Hatton's no stranger to this, but I got to have y'all. Since I have you guys, Flynn, Mayan, Hatton, would you like to play the 5 random question game with me on the show?
Love to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do it. 5 random questions with Skayda on the local buzz. So I got to ask, because y'all are a three-piece, the police or Rush? Which one do you choose?
The police.
Oh. I know you
Love-
don't.
Love Neil Peart to death, but hate Geddy Lee's voice with all my passion.
I'm a Rush girl.
I'm gonna have to. Can I just be both? Because like they chose one. I'll just split down the
There you go.
middle. I'll take half police, half Rush.
That was a mean
There you
question.
go. That's how a three-piece works. Someone always has to pick either side. I love that. Question number 2 with Skayda on the local buzz. So, since you guys are from this generation, the new Miley Cyrus record, or no thanks, give me a classic record?
No thanks, give me a classic.
Personally, I agree with her. Although I'm not gonna lie, I haven't listened to the album yet. But I mean, I've kind of been obsessed with. I have my Aerosmith shirt on.
Nice.
Pump. So I'll take Pump over Miley Cyrus.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I'd say no thanks, give me a classic. But I do appreciate like Miley's style. I just think like over the past couple years, she's just
Gotten really good.
gotten really good.
I
Like,
love her rock
I think
stuff.
she's meant to be a rock singer. I don't
For
think
sure.
like 100%. So
Absolutely.
Isn't it funny that like whenever she got big, it was kind of like, oh, it's Billy Ray Cyrus's daughter, and now it's like, who's Billy Ray Cyrus? Like she's the star. I love it.
right.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, it's Hannah Montana.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, now you're Miley's dad. Question number 3 with Skayda on the local buzz. Last week, I had my buddy Ethan Luck on the show, who has a podcast entirely dedicated to Metallica. It's really rad. I wanted to ask you guys if you could do a podcast about any band, who would it be?
Skayda. I'm kidding.
Starting right now.
Who wants to go first?
God, for me, honestly, either Metallica or like Stone Temple Pilots, maybe.
Oh, nice. I would tune into that. Right on. What about you guys?
I would say Japan or Duran Duran.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm subscribing to all these right now. What about you, Hannah?
That did not give me enough time. I mean, I'll say Aerosmith. Yeah, I'll say Aerosmith. I just love them. I'm a diehard Aerosmith fan. But yeah, Aerosmith.
I love it. Have you met Steven Tyler? I think he lives here like part-time. People always run into him. Have you had the privilege of meeting him yet?
Oh no. Also, I really want to meet Jack White. I've seen people
Yeah.
meeting him and I'm like, come on, he's not that hard to spot.
I love it. I have the best Jack White story I'm going to tell you right after this last question, or last 2 questions here with Skayda on the local buzz. So your first show is coming up a week from today on Sunday, the 29th. What is your biggest fear of something going wrong at this first show? Biggest fear. Let's will it into
Losing a stick.
existence.
Losing a
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to say tripping over my big boots.
He feels like this tall.
It's like it's like dark matter. It's a small, like 6-inch stage. I gotta be seen, so I gotta be as tall as I can be.
She's already 6 feet tall, but like, of
So I'm
course.
like 6'5" in these heels, you know.
Yeah. You got to tower over the rest. I love it.
I would say my biggest fear pretty much for every show is messing up solos, because I'm not a new guitarist, but somewhat new to solos. But it's kind of a thrill. It's like a risk and I like it, but also biggest fear.
Right on. I love it. Well, hopefully none of those things come true and it's a perfect show, as we know it will be. Question number 5 with Skayda, the final question on the local bus. So you guys could have your ideal dream tour. We're talking 75 dates, direct support with any band in the entire world, alive or dead. But when you get back from this tour, the deal you made with the devil, which I guess would be me in this case, is you have to work down on Broadway driving a pedal tavern for an entire summer. Do you take this tour?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, duh.
Sure.
Yep.
Hands down.
Easy answer.
Yep.
I love that. I think it's kind of a trick question too, because I feel like a lot of people in this town do big tours and they come back and work jobs like that. You know what I mean? Nashville is one of the few cities where that exists.
I mean, honestly, it kind of sounds fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound too bad.
And I don't think you actually drive it. I don't think that's even legal. I think it probably drives itself. You probably just sit there and woo along and play songs. It's probably great, you know?
I don't know, maybe
True.
maybe we'll try it next summer. Who knows?
Yeah, we do need some jobs.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, I appreciate you guys playing. No, I met Jack White just once before I lived here back in 2009. My band was on the road. You guys ever heard of the B-52s, the Love Shack band?
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
We were out. My band was opening for them. We played in Nashville, and they were like, "Hey, Jack White's coming out." And so I'm packing up my drums, and so all of a sudden, someone taps him on my shoulder, and I hear the most gentle voice of all time. He's like, "You're a really good drummer." And I turn around, and it was Jack White. So it was a huge compliment, right? I was like, "Hell yeah!" And so he walks off. He watches the B-52s from like the side stage, and we go to the after party with him. And so my band sees him. And we're like, man, we got to get a picture with Jack White. We got to do it. And so someone asked him for a picture, and he's like, let's get all the B-52s together in your band, and we'll take a picture together. And we're like, hell yeah. So we go to this spot, and he's like, this would be a good spot. So we all line up against the wall, and I have the picture on my Facebook page. I'll have to send it to you. But we're all posing against this wall. Jack White stands on the edge, and this girl takes someone's phone, and she's like, all right, 1, 2. And right when she says 3, Jack White bolts down this stairwell. So in the picture, we're all like looking, and we all look shocked, and we never saw him again. That was the only time I've ever met him. I've never spoken to him since. And I've always wanted to ask him, is that like your thing? You just dip out in the middle of pictures? It was hilarious.
So that's
Funny.
hilarious. But I would
Yeah.
be destroyed if you did that.
I know, I'd be like,
Well, the bass player of my band was like a diehard White Stripes fan, so I think it really affected him for a while. I think he was pretty upset. I could kind of care less because he complimented me, but he took it really, really hard.
Oh, poor dude.
So
I
hopefully you
would've
guys
taken
meet
it
him.
hard.
I'll tell you what, if you meet Jack White, get your picture with him first. That's the plan. Get the picture with him at the very beginning, then he can't dip out. You know what I mean?
We'll put him in the middle and like grab his arms.
You gotta, when you take the picture, you gotta go like 1 and then take the picture.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yeah.
Beat him in his own game. If you guys ever get a picture with him, do that for me. Beat him in his own game. I'd appreciate that.
We will. Or we'll run.
Oh,
We
yeah.
can run it.
Dip out on him. Make him feel like he's nothing. That'd be hilarious. I love that.
It's so funny.
So what is obviously the show coming up next week, but what is the rest of 2023? I know it's early, but what is the rest of 2023 looking like for Skayda? You guys thinking about doing more local shows, releasing some music, maybe some tour dates? What are we thinking?
Definitely more local shows.
I'm thinking show.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
think I personally think it would be fun to like go on tour, like opening for a band that we really like. Definitely, obviously, like Flynn said,
Mhm.
more local shows, just kind of getting to know some people around here.
Getting our ground up.
Yeah. What about
And-
you?
Yeah.
Think?
I don't know. I want to get more into the writing process because I'm kind of new to writing songs and everything. And I've dabbled in it, but like I think Hatton's a pro here. And so I think it'd be really cool to work with her.
Yeah.
I'm such a
Nice.
fan.
I love that. How long have you all been playing your instruments? Like, how long have you guys all been doing what you do? Like, just separately, even?
Drums for like
Flynn's the drummer, for those who don't know.
11 years.
Oh, hell, okay. So you're a pro. Hell yeah. Right on. What about you, Mai? How long have you been playing for?
Let's see, how old was I? I'd say I picked up a bass. Well, I started off on guitar thinking I'd be like the next like Dave Mustaine from Megadeth. That was my goal, but I'm like, I don't think I can do that. And so I
It's still
kind of got
possible.
more into bass. And so I'd say I really got going when I was about like 15, 16. So couple years. That's when I was serious about it. I think I picked up my first bass when I was like, let's say 14. So I was pretty young.
Nice. What about you, Hatton?
So singing, I took piano lessons for like 10 years, but
Oh yeah.
so did you, right?
Yeah, I did too.
Neither of us ended up on piano, so didn't take any guitar lessons, then ended up on guitar.
Me too. I hated piano.
Yeah, piano was not good,
Yeah,
but
I
it
love
did
piano.
build a basis,
Yeah.
But I would say like probably 8 years on guitar, and then singing just kind of for a long time. But I know like mine's, like she said, is a bass major, and like from the kind of first month or so of school, college, like first semester to now, I mean, huge improvement. Like, not that you were bad, but like it's just
I knew
crazy. Like
I couldn't tell you where like the D was
No,
on the
I was
bass. I'm
like-
so
I was
illiterate.
like, G, and she'd be like,
Where's that?
So
I
fun.
love it. Well, you guys are a bunch of pros, in my opinion. So I think that's rad. I love it.
Thank you.
Right on. Well, the 29th, go see Skayda at Dark Matter this coming or a week from Sunday, a week from today. Yeah, Cadence on the show, Absolute Silence, Nick Carlson, $8 in advance, $10 at the door. What time's the show kicking off on Sunday, y'all?
Right
Kicking off
at
at
8.
8.
Yep. Doors at 7, show at 8.
Right on. Awesome. Well, I love it. Well, Skayda, open door policy for bands I like up here at the station. Anytime you want to come on the show, just knock on my Zoom cam and I'll magically appear and we'll do this. It'll be perfect.
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 Yay.
Yeah, thank you, Andy.
Awesome. Well, thank you
Thanks for
guys. It's
having
good to
us.
meet you all, and I'm sure I'll see you next week at the show. I'm pumped. I will see you then.
Oh,
See you
great. I'll see you.
then.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye.